This is Rampage Stormclaw 2.0. I took the time to level my Druid to 100, and I thoroughly tested the build yesterday on my stream as well as after the stream. I don't even have the build maxed out, but I'm very satisfied with where I got it. With this, you'll easily be able to clear tier 100 vaults and nightmare dungeons, and it has the ability to kill bosses like Duriel, tier 100 Butcher, and Lilith. Speaking of bosses, I recommend if you're going to do any of the hard bosses, that you swap out your Eridas for an adaptability aspect, and it's always good to keep your eyes out for a very offensive chest piece and amulet. For our skills, our main source of damage is our Claw. This is also going to be casting Storm Strike at the same time. We've got Blood Howl for some healing, attack speed, and it also procs our Vigilance passive. We've got Debilitating Roar for damage reduction. We've got Hurricane for damage reduction. We have Trample for mobility and breaking CC. And we have Petrify to stun enemies and pull everything to us. This also increases our critical strike damage against enemies as well. Now it's important to keep in mind that these bear skills are also going to be used to proc our Keystone passive. We're using Bestial Rampage, so you have to stay in Werebear form for 2 seconds in order to proc that. But don't stand around in a group of enemies waiting for the passive. Use your Trample on the way to a group of enemies and you'll have the buff already when you get to them. It lasts 15 seconds, so you don't have to be perfect. Now I mentioned that we're going to be clearing CC with Trample, but that's more of a backup. For Spirit Boons, we're going to have Advantageous Beast, and this, as well as other places in the build, are going to reduce the CC that we take. We're also going to be going with Swooping Attacks and Avian Wrath, as well as Bolster and Masochistic. For aspects, we're going with Vigorous Aspect, Aspect of Might, Paingorger's Gauntlets, Juggernaut's Aspect, Flicker Step, Great Staff of the Crone, Rapid Aspect, Overcharged Aspect, and Erida's Inexorable Will. If you happen to have a Harlequin crest, you could wear that instead of the Vigorous Aspect. Also, while I was editing, I remembered to mention that the Paingorger's Gauntlets apply their mark because of our Toxic Claws. Yes, it can apply from Hurricane and other stuff, but you actually don't need it. Our basic skill, Claw, can apply the mark using Toxic Claws. So when we use Eridas to pull all the enemies together, and Toxic Claws poisons that group of enemies, they automatically get the Paingorger's mark, and we're able to do that extra damage. For gems, we're going with Topaz on the weapon, Ruby on the armor, and on our jewelry, we're going to be going 3 different resistance types to max out our resists. Those are going to be Amethyst, Ruby, and Sapphire. For our Seneschal construct, we're going with Auto Defense, with Tactical Support, Duration Support, and Voluminous Support. For your other skill, there's a lot of options on what the skill can be, but for the support gems, we're going with Swift Support, Breaking Support, and Efficiency Support. In our skill tree, we're going to be maxing out Storm Strike and Claw, and getting Wild Claw and Fierce Storm Strike. We'll also be maxing out Predatory Instinct, and then we'll get 1 point in Blood Howl, going to Preserving Blood Howl, 1 point in Debilitating Roar, and then we'll max out Ancestral Fortitude and Vigilance. Moving all the way down to the Wrath tree, we're going to be getting 1 point in Hurricane, going to Savage Hurricane, 1 point in Trample, we're going to max out Bad Omen, and we're just going to get 2 points in Electric Shock. Then we're going to move down, we're going to max out in Venom and get 1 point in Toxic Claws. For our ultimate, we're going with Petrify, and we're getting 1 extra point here. You do have the option to also run Cataclysm, and if you run Cataclysm, you want to go all the way to Supreme Cataclysm. If you do that, you can take the 1 point out of Electric Shock. We're also going to be maxing out our Heightened Senses. And then to make sure CC is not a problem in the build, we're going to be maxing out Unrestrained. Finally, for our Keystone passive, we're going with Bestial Rampage. On our Paragon boards, on the starter board, we're going to go with Fang and Claw. Then we're going to move up, we're going to attach the Heightened Malice board, where we're going to put Territorial. Moving to the right from there, we're going to be attaching the Thunderstruck board, and here we're going to grab Electrocution. Moving up from here, we're going to be attaching the Inner Beast board, where we're going to put Werewolf. Moving to the left, we're going to attach Lust and Carnage, and here we're going to get 2 rare nodes, Wild's Call and Fleeting. You should be pretty close to hitting these bonuses when you finish your board, and if you're close, just adjust the points on your build so you can hit the bonuses. Fleeting is another part of what we're going to use to reduce the CC in the build. Then moving back above the Inner Beast board, we're going to grab Ancestral Guidance, where we're going to put our Spirit Glyph. I'm very satisfied with where Stormclaw is at the moment, so I'll probably leave the build where it is for now and work on other builds. I have a couple of builds I'm pretty excited about doing, and I also want to test out my Lightning Storm build in the endgame. But let me know what you guys are interested in seeing. And if you like my content, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next video. Daddy Druid out. Grr.